Hey everybody, it's Marty the JavaScript Party. I'm Buddy Rhett, and this is the first video of a new series called the Say Hello series. And that is, I want to build an application that uses the voice API, and that voice. Hey Rhett, we're starting this one off right, aren't we? Yeah. Anyways, so this is going to be called the Say Hello project, our application, and the whole idea is to use the voice API to let you say hello, and it will tell you if it recognized what you said. And we're going to have different versions of hello. We'll say like good afternoon, good morning, hi, and then we'll sort of define the formality of it, and then we'll start to do that across different languages. So I have built out this. It took me about a year. We did it was a previous web series that I've since completed, and I think I completed it last Saturday. And basically I have this tool, and it kind of just shows me what the current state of the web API of the voice API is. And as we can say, and actually the voice API splits up into two sides. So there's the recognition and then the speaking part, and this is exclusively focused on the recognition, so listening. So I'm looking here and I don't see any changes that aren't expected. They did add a phrases attribute that apparently is going to be used for specific, like if you're trying to narrow down specific things that you're listening to. It did not. I've never even tried it. It showed up, and I did not find it something that I would find useful at this point. Maybe if I ever do find it useful, I might crack this application open again and start working on it. But for now, I'm not. So, but one thing this project application is very good for is it is good for telling you, or for prototyping. So I'm prototyping. This is basically what I want to do. I know I don't think I want to use continuous. I want to use discrete. So continuous, we could use continuous, but the thing about continuous is what happens is, like if I were to do it, I would have to listen for events and then like kind of respond. But once it starts recording, it stays recording unless you stop it. So it kind of works like, hello. And see, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we got hello at a 97%. And then, see, it continues to listen. And I have a different project called Flashcard Project that I do want to use this functionality for because I find it to be useful. Although this is on Chrome, and I like the way Edges works better. But for discrete, I do actually like Chrome better because Chrome returns this percentage back, this confidence percentage, which is pretty nice, and Edge does not, or at least it did not as of last Sunday. And it's easy to use this tool just to check that. But so I do like Chrome better for this application. It'll still work over in Edge, but in Edge it won't be as good because you won't get that confidence level back. But over here we can say hello, and then it's done. It's done recording. It turned itself back off. So I would know, oh, okay, when it's done, did I get hello back? Did I get the word I'm looking for? And then the other one would be like, hi. And then the other one would be like, good morning. And did you, like, even with Rhett making external noises, it still did a pretty good job. And I'm not on I don't have a microphone. I'm just talking straight into the microphone. And she's not normally this noisy, but let's see. Good afternoon. And then, so basically what I envision is basically having like the word and then sort of a, hey, this is a formal, this is informal, this is a little bit like, sometimes people will say greetings and salutations. So and see, it didn't recognize, it thinks I said in, not and. Greetings and salutations. So that time it did that. Now see, over here it returned two things, and one of it thinks that the way I said it, apparently it sounded very much like I said greetings in salutations. But what I wanted to do, but it thought that it was a 69% chance that I said greetings and salutations. So that's pretty useful, because I could give them that, like, okay, it thinks you said something else, and this was the other thing, but it also, you did hit it. It recognized that you said that, but it's not as confident as that as this other thing. So this is basically the general prototype of what I want to build out in the application. Now, there's other things to think about, because basically, like, and I think at the very, when I start coding, probably the very first thing I'll focus on is the routing, because I basically, if we go to this, we can see that we can select our language. So we like Spanish, and we can also select we can select Mexican Spanish or Spaniard Spanish, right? So like this is Mexican Spanish, and I think we just click off, and then hola. And so that's hello in Spanish. And then we see that we have the ES, and that is so this is like the region, I think, and then this is the language and the region. So I'd probably want my route to be like ES/MX, ES/EN/US, and then probably support any, like if you give it a legitimate language region combination, like it will try that. It'll, even if you get an invalid one, it would try it, but it won't be able to. It doesn't know what the word hello is. So I would probably allow manual. You can update the URL to whatever you want, but it won't be able to help you. And then I think the actual words and all that stuff are going to be like held in a JSON. So we won't have to do like a full build in order to update the language, the application. Once the code is written, we'll be able to just add languages and hellos and stuff, like like if I don't know, ChatGPT is pretty good at this. So if we wanted to do like ChatGPT, there are a lot of ways to say hello in English. Can you provide me with some? And how formal they are, and how formal each is, and when it would be appropriate. So this is basically, I want to do this. This is exactly what I want to do, but I want it to be like, I want it to be, you can actually say it, and it can tell you if it. So these, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I forgot about that one. Times specific. So yeah, I think this would be really, how do you do? Oh yeah, that's how do you do? Very formal, old-fashioned. Primarily informal British English, which is used. Neutral everyday greeting. Hi. So I feel like this is probably like the easiest. Like if you were Japanese, right? Like, and you're like, oh, I struggle with some words in English. Hi, I think they say anyways already, so they would be very comfortable saying that. Hey. So this is a neutral. Neutral casual. Hey is casual. Greetings. So I did say greetings, and this is neutral formal. It is, yeah, slightly whimsical and all that. So, and then informal. Yo, hiya, heya, what's up, what's up, what's up, howdy. I This is very regional. It is very very something. I don't think it's in the southern U.S. But I've heard that a lot it's not really in the southeast, but it's very heavily used in the southwest. Hey there, hello there, heidi ho. I've never ever heard anyone use that in real life. Ahoy! Again, I've never heard anyone use that in real life. Ahoy! And then quick tips for work, and then see, the nice thing is like when I'm done, when I have this built, I could probably actually show ChatGPT my JSON and say, hey, can you add me some more JSONs for this language? And the JSON would have like these descriptions and everything in it. So, that's nice. And I do like the JSON concept because it makes it very portable, right? Like you don't have to, and you don't have to have a database or anything like that. You could just drag this JSON anywhere. And that JSON could be used for other things. So that is that. So the next thing I'm going to do is, how far are we? We're only 11 minutes in. So let's go to GitHub, and we're going to create a new repo for this. So basically, I have 59 repositories. I've been freaking doing things for in GitHub for wow. I have 8 followers. That's pretty cool. Did not know that. Hello. Oh yeah, this guy. He's such a good guy. So smart too. We worked together for a little while. But yeah, most of these people I don't know. Founder of Digital Crafts. Interesting. Max Chesney. From Charleston, South Carolina. Oh, this is my son. This is my other son. So 2 of them are related to me. I didn't even know Rod had a GitHub. I'm actually quite shocked that he has a GitHub. And then this person I don't know. I wonder where they are. India. Welcome. Actually, welcome to everybody. And then I'm guessing this guy, I think this is probably, I don't know, I don't even know if, I'm guessing this is probably someone, that looks like an Indian name to me. Where would someone with this name likely come from? Japanese, wow. I swear there's this one Japanese show on TikTok about ninjas, something ninja. It's about a family of ninjas and stuff that I've watched. It's got like 8 episodes. I've probably watched all 8 episodes 20 times. I just absolutely love that show. It's just got some of the most beautiful music. It's all American music, so their selections of American songs was brilliant. And then I'm guessing how about this one? I'm guessing this guy, Vikrant, or this person. One thing I learned is it's extraordinarily to tell what gender someone is. Very difficult with the Indian names. Yeah. So I definitely, common among male given names. Oh wow. Brave, courageous, and victorious. Or victorious. I think you can be and. Western India. I do always have a kind of a soft spot because I have a lot of friends that are from India and have had a lot of friends in the past from India and been very well treated well by people from India my entire lives and people from India, and somebody, an Indian person, created like a 20 series video series on YouTube that I totally believe my understanding I understand. I've never met someone who understands JavaScript memory better than me, and it's because of that guy's videos. And his last 5 videos, I was the only one who ever watched them. So, like, I just feel like I owe India. But, anyways, so, man, that was a distraction. Sorry. Let's see. I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to call it Say Hello. And I think that's fine, right? Say hello. Wonder if I could put a dash. Yeah, say hello. And then our short and memorable, how about curly chainsaw? Oh, okay, so curly dash chainsaw. Yeah, so say hello. So that. And then a voice API application. With the mission of helping people say hello. And then we're going to create this repository. And then it's going to be empty, but I do want to create it from the command line, and I guess we want to do it like this. So we're going to go like that, and then I'm going to go into my command line here. I'm pretty sure I have Git installed this way. Git status. Yeah, okay, so it's not a repository, so that's good. CD. I can't remember. I think it's .cd .dir. No, it's in my CD. Let's go CD users. I don't think I have many users. dir cd Marty dir cd tech. I have to admit, I'm actually more happy about having 8 followers on, well, excluding my, I mean, I appreciate my sons following me, but like, I guess I shouldn't take that much credit for that one. Actually, it's pretty cool though, actually, having kids follow your GitHub repo. It's pretty cool. Then like 300 followers on 400 followers on YouTube, right? Like it's just, and I have like 1,000 followers on TikTok. I don't ever do anything technical on that one, but it's pretty cool. It's actually, I don't think I had any followers on GitHub like 6 months ago, other than maybe my kids or whatever. But that is really neat. So I have this tech folder, TIR. And then in here, I have a whole bunch of projects that I've worked on. And man, that was a really interesting thing to go down that road. And I think I'm just going to go right on here. I don't really like having this many folders, but anyways. Well, okay, so I guess what I want to do is actually want to. Okay, I don't want my Git at this level though, or my project. So I'm gonna make directory say dash hello, and then I think in there I'll have another directory called say hello, which is a little bit annoying, but I don't want my Git up there at that, above all of this, above like 10, all these other ones. But anyways, So what is it? What do we want to do here? It gave me a whole bunch of stuff. So apparently this will create a file for me, and then this will create a repo locally, and then this will add that file to the local, and then this will commit that will create my first commit, and then this will create a branch named main. I don't know what branch. I guess we won't have a branch. Well, I'm very curious. So I'm kind of savoring this sort of early part of the project because you don't get to do it very often. And, it's just like normally when you do, most people, 99, probably literally 9,999 times out of a 10,000, you kind of zombie through this and don't even really pay attention. So I'm just very curious, So here I am creating a file. Name that. So if I say dir, can you say ls? No. So if I say dir, I do have a file now. And another thing that most people don't know about, but it helps you a lot, is you could type in explorer dot, and then that will pop up a file explorer. So there's our file explorer. And let's see, git init. And I will say that if you ever have to teach children coding, they love the command line. They really, really do. Adults do not. So if somebody's 25 years old and you're teaching them, or 30 years old, and they don't know command line and they don't understand it, they're probably going to be like, no, I don't want to hear it. But man, a 12-year-old will be like, oh, this is so cool. This is like the Matrix. This is, especially when you show them creating something and then it's showing up in the folders. It just puts things together for them. But anyways, so git init. So now we have an empty repository. So if I say git status, now I'm very curious what happens if you say git branch. I don't think I've ever consciously realized I'm in Git in a folder, not on a branch. To me, it's always been the same thing. All right, so we have our Git. We are not in a branch. I don't know what you would call this state of being in Git, having a Git repo, but no branches exist in it. I guess that's where we are now. And it's weird. How am I adding something to Git and there's no branch? That's weird. Git is weird. We had this really strange issue at work where we someone made a merge, right? They merged from our main into our local, into his local, and then or into his feature branch, and then he botched it, right? He messed it up. Everyone does that, right? So he messed it up, and he merged it, and he pushed it, and it wouldn't even build or anything. So I was like, oh my gosh, I've never done this before. I have no idea. I'm on completely virgin ground, because I've never pushed something that I didn't want to revert. So he pulled it back. So then he reverted and all that and pushed, which was good. And everything was good, but it was pre-merge. And then he was trying to merge, and it wouldn't let him merge. It was saying it merged. It merged, but it didn't make any changes. Oh, man, that was weird. And I don't know exactly, because he kind of got help from 4 or 5 different people. And I don't know, so I wasn't really there when they got it resolved. But he did get it resolved. But anyways, so I'm going to do the git. We already did the git init, right? Yeah. So if you hit the up button in the command line, it does you can go back through your past entries. That's another thing that always like tickles young people when you're teaching on the command line, and you know, no, just hit the up button, and they're like, like they literally laugh when they see that they can get all their old commands back. But let's see. So I guess yeah. So we did an add, right? That was the last thing we did, right? Oh no, we didn't. Okay. So we're gonna add README. And I think we can hit the tab at this point, and it'll, since there's only one word and one file in there, it'll actually fill it in. All right, so we're going to add the README, and we're not in a branch. And then I would not have thought that was possible, and I have literally done this hundreds of times, maybe even 1,000+ times. And I did not know you could add things without having a branch. And now we're going to do our first commit. Git commit -m, and then it's like first say hello commit. Wonder if I should put a smiley in there. I think I'll just leave it like that. And then, so like, that kind of reminds me of a whole bunch of things. And one of the things it reminded me of is anytime I have to sign anything, like digitally, I always put a smiley on there. And I've had 3 different hiring managers tell me that was like, they were kind of like trying to depend on, or they were trying to choose between multiple people that were kind of tied, and that smiley face got me the job. So, and the first time I ever put a smiley face on there, I didn't even like realize anybody was going to see it. I just figured it's just something you sign, but they see it. Hiring managers see that, something like that, and anything that makes you stand out. Because the thing is we're all kind of tied in a lot of ways. It's just like, oh, this guy has this, but that girl has that, and he has this, and that other person has that. And then a lot of times it's just like, oh man, it's a toss up between these 3 people. You know what? They had a smiley face on there. I'm gonna hire them. All right, so we made our first commit, and now we're creating a branch. So good branch. I don't know what this M does. -M. Right. So what does the -M do in this? Or get moves or rename something, forcing the operation if needed specifically. Get branch M stands for move, rename, and force. It renames a current branch to main, even if the branch with that name already exists. Without M, Git would give an error if main exists. So you do not want to use this lightly, because apparently it will overwrite an existing branch, which could be pretty tragic, really. Could really screw you up. Get remote origin. All right, so now this is where we connect it up to GitHub. And sometimes this works well and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes I think I have to do it from Visual Studio. I don't really understand. Yeah, apparently not. Now, okay, so I guess connecting that remote doesn't actually do anything. It's this guy that could result in pain and suffering. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. Okay, so that worked. And then I can do this. I cannot do this on my work computer, but I could do this on most computers I've ever worked on. I could do this. Just type in code and dot. All right. So this application is going to be an Angular only application. I don't think I'll have any. Oh shit. I wonder. I guess I guess I'm gonna not make that decision now. So if I have an Angular only, what I will tip project, what I'll do is I'll just put Angular at the top. But there could be an API to this. There could be a PHP API to this. There could be a local node API to this. There could be, I, yeah, I could maybe want to add like a PHP script or something that tracks like, but that would only work at I Like Email, right? It won't work at other places. So, anyways, I think, I guess what I'll do is I will go. Let me close this. I don't know what this build agent. AI responses may be inaccurate. Yeah, I do not want to onboard I don't even know what this means, to be honest with you. It sounds pretty scary, right? Generate an agent instructions to onboard AI onto your code base. Like, I have no idea why I'd want to do that. And B, I don't know what that even means. So now what I want to do is I want to make this a little bigger. Terminal, new terminal. And see, this is how coding is done. You know, like, so if you're like, oh man, I want to be a computer programmer one day, blah, 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 blah. This is what you're going to do. Like, you don't get very many. Like, I've seen people get all the way to their first job and they didn't know any of this stuff. And then, like, this is your day to day. This is what you're going to do if you're a heads down coder. Now, there are a lot of people with coding titles that don't code. As a matter of fact, I would say the majority of people with coding titles don't actually code. But if you're going to be a coder, this is what your life is going to look like. But so I'm going to create an NPM project. And since I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to have like an API and other stuff along with this thing, I know at the very least I'm going to want like an HT access just for ilikeemail.com thing, so to manage, so that the Apache server there knows how to feed the right file to based, so it's based on the path, because that's just not built in. Like, so normally, well, we won't worry about that now. So in PM init -y. So what this is going to do is this is actually going to create a package file for me. So as you see, I have this package file, and then in here, I think this, no, so this, okay, so then in here I want to make another folder, and that's going to be my say hello Angular application. So dir say hello Angular, and this is where my Angular app's going to go. Now, like, if I knew 100% that I was only going to have an Angular app, I wouldn't make this folder. I would do what I'm about to do in this folder. And then do the same thing, npm init Now, when I tried like creating another like application once where I have on several occasions. Actually, no, yeah. So no, I definitely want to do it this way because I want to have a Cypress end-to-end tests in here, and I want that to be in its own folder. But the thing is you can get collisions across like versions of TypeScript and things like that. So it's a lot easier to, if you're going to have more than one thing, to not have to everybody have their own npm versions, so that they can have their own versions of any npm libraries. Because a lot of times one application won't support another version, the newest version or an older version or something like that. So npm init-y. And so we have our Angular application. Now I'm going to sit back. And then I believe what I want to do is, I might end up having to delete this out, but I don't think so. Cypress. And this is going to be where my Cypress application is going to live. Find the right place. Yeah, so I'm sitting in my command line is sitting up here, so Cypress, and then cd Cypress npm init-y. So basically I have a package for each one of these guys. And then, so I probably will always do Cypress this way. I don't think I'll ever, I have another application that I'm doing Cypress in, and I have it in the same folder, and there's some issues with that because it has a version of TypeScript that it supports, and Angular has a version, and they aren't always. I haven't had a problem with it yet, but I can imagine those not being compatible, and that is going to be a disaster. That's just going to be so difficult for me to deal with if I ever have to deal with that. Anyways, I feel like this is a good spot here. I think we have our general folders. I probably will create in the future. I'll probably create like an I like email folder, and I'll probably also send I'll probably also use GitHub to also host a version of this application. Another thing I plan to do is actually do issues, use the issues tracking here at GitHub for my application. So we did not do the last. I guess we did do it, but I've made changes. So let's go ahead and do that. These are our changes. We're on the main. I don't see any reason not to be on the main. So git add dot and git commit -m basic outline, basic directory structure. I definitely want, like, I feel like this will be screwed up. So, but we can't, so I ended up making a git status. See, because I was in that directory up there, it only added what I was in that directory, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is, I believe it's git revert. I have it written down, I think, over on that whiteboard over there. Nope, I don't have it there anymore. Git revert head. And that should undo. Okay, I don't know what I just did. don't think I wanted to do. I think I wanted to do git reset. Oh no. Okay, I think what I need to do is close this. What are my choices? I would like to commit, amend, commit, push. I don't want to do any of those. I want to not do this. Didn't want to do this. View more actions. I mean, I did not want to, boy, because what I wanted to do is get reset head, not get revert head. That was a mistake. I just made a horrible mistake. And what does this do? Discard commit message. I don't know if that's going to get me what I want. Well, what a disaster. So yes, somehow that told it, but it is only staged. So let's unstage this. And I don't know what the heck's going on here. I'm gonna do a git status again. Okay, so it says use git add rm to update will be committed. Use git restore to discard changes in working untracked files. And then I still have this thing up here. Okay, so what does this do? That stashes all the changes. Show commit graph. That does the commit. That does a refresh. So let's do a refresh. Maybe it's like old because I did something. Stash all changes. I swear I've had so many experience. Oh gosh. Cancel. I do not want to do that. Where are we? Get status. What is our file situation? I have no idea. Somehow we just deleted the entire application. Okay, I think it's. Okay, let me go to ChatGPT before I screw this up even worse. On a brand, I have local changes in my Git repo, but I want to just abandon all of those changes. Abandon those changes. Resync. That means I'm going to lose everything we just did, but resync. Yeah, sync with the remote. And this would be so much easier if I was on a branch. I want to reset to get checkout made, get reset hard, origin mage. So these are we're already on those. Let's see what happens. I think we'll actually keep that. I have no freaking idea what we just did, what I just did. But okay, so git status. Okay, so all I have in git log. So all I have is I'm back to my original README file. Okay, so I'm going to make a directory. Oh no, I'm going to do an npm init. and I'm going to dash y it so it just uses all the name on all that. So basically, because I did that, this package is back, and yeah, that was weird. Okay, let's close that. Boom. Okay. Say hello. See, I think this stuff all because I did a Y. Otherwise, I would have had to like say yes, yes, yes. Okay, so make directory, make dir, and I'm gonna say Cypress. CD Cypress npm init dash y. Now this may end up being a mistake. I don't know. I'll be very curious to see that because Cypress is such a common name. Like I'm creating an npm package called Cypress when one already exists. So I don't know. I don't know if that's going to end up coming back to be an issue. I would be very interested. I'd be interested in going through that issue and trying to understand what's going on. npm make directory. And then say hello. And we are deeply coupled with Angular. So I'm not going like, oh, I'm going to redo this in React, or I'm going to redo this in some other front-end framework. This is going to be in Angular, so I'm going to say Angular. Let's just... So that looks right to me. And then npm init dash y. Now, make sure we go back to the right directory. Get status. Make sure everything is, everything's in there. Git add. Let's add it all. Git status. Git commit. Down. We already have that commit. I already thought about basic directory structure. Git push. Right, so next Saturday we will initialize the Angular application, and with the latest we'll use the CLI to add the latest one, and we will you know what, I can't, I think that might have been a mistake. I think now that I think about it, when I use the Angular CLI, it will make its own directory, so we might end up and with its own package actually. So actually, let's go ahead and just delete that now because I'm never going to remember that crap next week. Delete. I've totally forgot that when you run the CLI, what'll happen is, I don't know, can I delete this? Does that get deleted? Recycle bin. Git status. And then moves Angular because the CLI will create a new folder. Did I not? I guess I didn't stage that. I do this all the time. I can't believe how often I do this too. Stage that. And then push that. It kind of makes me want to just do this week because so I think I'm going to do it right now. npm install at, is it Angular dash CLI. I think that's how you do that. I try to do things from memory as much as I can just to keep my memory working. You know, it's like use it or lose it. It is trying to do something. But I believe with Cypress, I'm going to want to be in the folder, in the Cypress folder itself. All right, so now we should, am I looking at the right package? So created a node modules folder. Oh, and so that's another thing I forgot. I need to add a git. I do not want to commit. You do not want to commit your node modules. It's just so many bad things come from that. So many unhappy things come from that. I believe what you do is, let's try to do this from memory too while that's doing its thing. You know, that was not what I wanted to do. Yes, well, that's nice. So it's going to create a git ignore. I don't even have a git ignore. Yeah, so it did say, do you want to add it? But I don't actually have one. And yeah, so got rid of, so now node modules won't, because we have this file called .gitignore, which many times will be hidden on your computer. And it says node modules, then Git won't try to load that. Package lock has a whole crap load of stuff in it. I've never found it useful to even spend even 1 minute, 1 second in there. So I just usually ignore that one. I have in the past dug all through it trying to figure it, and it's just always leads to emptiness. All right, so now we have this, the 21.02 CLI. So what we want, what I like to do is create a script in here that says like create UI, and then it's like you can put whatever the command is to create a new the command to create a new project with the Angular CLI. And I call it CLI, some people call it the CLI. And it's kind of weird because every person I've ever run into that calls it the CLI thinks that CLI, they're like, what? No one calls it CLI. And everybody that calls it CLI thinks that no one calls it the CLI. It just is very ng-new my project. So basically this, we're going to want that. We are going to want routing, but I think it's going to ask me these questions. So, and this is my say hello. I don't know if it's going to be weird, say hello. I'm just going to call it UI. Because I think it would create another folder named that says say hello, and I think that could get kind of confusing. And anything you can do to avoid confusion is good. So now I'll type in npm run create UI. And what's really nice about this is the reason I do it this way is because then I don't have to worry about what version of Angular I have installed globally. It's like this one. It's going to use this one that's in this one's node modules. And because things can get weird when you try to install, run commands or whatever, and for some reason it's not using the correct CLI. And I can't even tell you. I mean, like the bugs are so strange. Okay, so I definitely want. Oh wow, I didn't know you could have Tailwind. I like Tailwind. I mean, I do, but I think I don't. I don't know. I don't think I just want to just add it just for no. Like at this point, like I just hadn't thought through it. I just didn't even know that was an option. What else is there? There's less. Okay, that's it. It's kind of weird how you have a choice between Tailwind and SCSS. I did not think they were mutually exclusive. Um, I didn't. I thought Tailwind was just. Yeah, that's weird. Enter. No, absolutely not. I tried that before, and it is just like a. Um, I don't know. It had issues, and I don't have any other issues the other way. So, and I don't see any benefit to having server side rendering in this um, for this application. Which AI tools do you want to configure with Angular best practices? Oh, this is a new one. They were talking about that in the. So I did an upgrade from Angular 20 to 21. This did not come up, but I don't think I want any of these at these points at this point in time. None. I like AI. Don't get me wrong. I think AI is awesome. I enjoy it. Okay, so now it's building these things out in Say Hello UI. So see, like had I named it Say Hello, it would be the exact same name, which could get at some point could just get confusing. And I'd rather like anything you can do to lower the amount of confusion in your day. Like if you're, I don't know what it is like, even within the United States, like all kinds. But where I live in my world, confusion is a standard. We're confused all day. You can't do anything. Like you try to freaking pay for something with your credit card, and it's like, oh no, and this one you do a tap, and but that one you do a rub, but that one you do an insert, and that one you do a slide. Like it's just confusion all day long. So I do not need more confusion in my life. I need less confusion. Now I remember as a kid growing up in New Mexico, I found confusion to be hilarious and fun because freaking life was boring as heck. But now it's not an age thing. I can definitely tolerate a lot more confusion now than I could when I was a kid. But it's just I get so much of it. It's just like open up the everything you do, like literally, like you going to get the mail is confusing. There's like all kinds of different schemes that for getting the mail out of your mailbox. And then for me, we live in a house that was built in the 1970s, so we have a mailbox. But like a lot of any new house today doesn't get a mailbox. You have to go. You get this centralized area, which is kind of cool because I like talking to people and stuff. So, it is kind of cool that you can go out to your mailbox and likely run into people. Okay, so that's done. So we now have an application, our Say Hello UI application. So let's go ahead and commit this. I don't know. I guess we should at least run it. So one thing to note is that this guy got its own package .json. And see, it has like a ng, so it has these scripts already built in. So that's why I was like, oh wait, I don't want to manually create a folder for it because it will get created. But then it was just like, I'm never going to remember this next week, so let's go ahead and get started. So what I will normally do is I'll go in here like cd, and then I'll do this code dot. And this will not be the case this time, but before Cypress, I many times never ever opened up in this view ever again. But I'm gonna close this. So now we are in the Angular side, and we will just for like I was gonna just push this, but I don't want to just push it without being sure that nothing went horribly wrong in the install. So npm start. Basically, we're looking for. I haven't seen the newest one, and it does change from time to time. And I heard in the last thing, they said they changed the little icon for Angular, from basically before it was sort of like Angular JS is, but like a little more modernized. And now, if I remember correctly, it was like a little man or something like that. So maybe we'll get to see the new icon. We can probably also just look at it if we want. Yeah, it's in this public. Oh no, it's still the same one. Okay, so we started us a server at 4200. Let me just go ahead and start another. Say hello UI. Yeah, so that looks just the way it's always looked. So that is that. We have installed it. Let's go ahead and commit. We'll kill this one. And I guess we probably want to go up one, because I do think we made some changes up to. And then get status. I guess, you know what? Code dot. Just work up at that one. We'll just close this one. And that's weird. I get it. Like, if you're watching along right now and you don't like hop in between different browser, like Visual Studios, the way I just did, that was probably weird and jarring. But it's just like one of those things I just do it all the time. Now, where I work, I'm about the only person. I think I am the only person that's just like highly into Visual Studio Code. All the rest of them, I have to use Visual Studio for C#, but everybody else primarily uses Visual Studio and uses Visual Studio Code once in a while. So there's 25 changes. Let's see. Do this. So it added a bunch of new stuff inside of there. And it should have added, like if we go in that, let's go back over here. I believe there's a new node modules, and that's already been hidden. And I don't think there's anything else we want to hide at this point. There probably will be, but at this point there isn't. So I think everything looks good. Normally I would do like kind of a deeper dive into every little thing, but it's just like, it is what it is. That's what you're getting. So there's really no value to that. Stage all. Git status. Git commit. Let's just do this. Adds Angular. UI application. All right, so let's see. Push. I found it to be extremely useful to actually create an issue for what we want to do next. So the next thing is probably to so one of two things we could do next. We could either add Cypress. Probably should add Cypress next, because the problem is that it's so simple to set up your Cypress application and your tests from right now. Like, it's simple. It is dead simple. Once we've built out a couple things, it'll actually get more difficult, and it might even become impossible, because it's just like sometimes you can build stuff that it's going to be very difficult to test. w- like test with end-to-end testing, and then you can build on top of that and on top of that. Whereas like when you do your end-to-end testing from the beginning, every when you go to make a test and it's difficult, a lot of times just changing something makes it a lot easier. So issues. Okay, so next week this is what we're going to do. New issue. Add Cypress. And then I'm going to create it. I'm going to assign it to myself. And I'm going to create a branch. And that's going to be the name of the branch. And I'm going to check it out locally. So it gives me this right there, right up in there. All right, so we're back here at the top. Control V. So that is going to be issue number 1 next week, and I guess maybe we'll try to do 2 issues next week because that should not take too long. Create first Cypress test that just checks the UI. This checks that the application is running. Now, probably will want to create a branch for that, but that I won't create the branch yet. I will assign it to myself though. So hopefully we can get these 2 things done next week. We'll add Cypress and get it running, and then create our first test. We'll probably have to delete a bunch of tests that come along with it out of the gate. But so I think this is a good start for this application. I think it's going to be awesome. I don't think we'll be working on this application in 2027. It'll probably take most of 2026 so to get it done. I mean, if we are working on it in 2027, all we're going to be doing probably is adding new languages or new greetings and stuff. And then, yeah, because I mean, I don't want to make this like my life's passion. I just kind of would like to knock it out and have some good experience with building like a really genuine like an application that like the general public would enjoy using. So that is that. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.